My people, this sounds like something from a Nollywood blockbuster, but I am telling you, this is real-life drama from the Federal High Court in Abuja. So, in this video, we are going to break down everything. What is this so-called secret evidence? What did the DSS present? And what does it mean for Nnamdi Kanu's case? Before we go deep, if you have not already, do us a great favor, like this video and subscribe to the channel with the notification bell so you don't miss any part of this developing story. It helps us more than you know. Now, let's get into the gist. Contrary to that explosive headline, the real event in court was not a leak, but a formal and legal admission of evidence. My people, there is a big difference. According to reports from May this year, the Department of State Services, DSS, presented a flash drive containing several video broadcasts allegedly made by Nnamdi Kanu on his radio station, Radio Biafra. A DSS operative who was testifying in court and identified only as Mr. BBB told the court that when these recordings were played for Kanu during his interrogation in July 2021, he confirmed that he was the one who made them. The lawyer for the federal government, Adegboyega Awomolo, SN, then presented these recordings to the court. And because Kanu's lawyer at the time did not object, the judge, Justice James Omotosho, accepted them as official evidence. So, it was not a secret leak, but a legal procedure. Now, this is where the matter gets very serious. These videos were played in the open court, and the details that emerged are what have caused so much uproar. Let me break down what the DSS witness claimed was in those broadcasts. A bounty on a governor. In one broadcast, Nnamdi Kanu was allegedly heard placing a N100 million bounty on the head of the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, who was the governor of Rivers State at the time. He was quoted as saying, "Dead or alive, Wike is N100 ninent. I will pay cash. Get me his head." Calls for violence in Lagos. In another recording from October 2020, during the EndSARS protests, Kanu was said to have directed his followers to cause mayhem in Lagos. He specifically called for the burning of all federal government property, including the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, and also called for the burning of hotels belonging to President Bola Tinubu, whom he described as a traitor. Formation of the ESN. The first video shown in court was from December 2020, where Kanu, dressed in a black blazer and red beret, announced the formation of the Eastern Security Network, SN, directives to kill soldiers. In yet another broadcast, he was heard directing his followers to kill Nigerian soldiers and encouraging a caller who asked for guns to join a volunteer force to access weapons. My people, you can see why this evidence is considered so damning by the prosecution. It forms the core of their terrorism and incitement charges against him. Now, let's fast forward to the most recent events. After the prosecution finished presenting its case, the court asked Nnamdi Kanu to open his defense. But instead, he took some dramatic steps. First, he sacked all his lawyers and decided to represent himself. Then, he consistently refused to present any defense, arguing that the court does not have the jurisdiction to try him and that the charges against him are not based on any valid law in Nigeria. He insisted that the court must first address his issue of jurisdiction before he can defend himself. The judge, Justice Omotosho, did not agree with this approach. He ruled that Kanu had been given a full and fair opportunity to defend himself, but by repeatedly refusing to do so, he had effectively waived that right. The court had allocated 6 full days for his defense, but he did not use any of them. Because of this, the judge has now set a date for judgment. My people, mark your calendars. The final judgment in this long-running terrorism trial is scheduled to be delivered on November 20th, 2025. That is just a few days from now. Just when we thought the matter was settled, there is another twist. As recently as November 10th, Kanu has filed an appeal to try and stop this November 20th judgment. He is arguing that the lower court should not deliver a judgment without first ruling on the issues of jurisdiction and the validity of the charges against him. However, some legal analysts are already questioning this move, saying it might be too late and that the law generally does not support stopping a criminal trial in this manner. So, the courtroom battles are still ongoing on multiple fronts. This story is developing very fast, and there is still so much to talk about. For instance, what is the connection between this evidence and the death of former presidential aide Ahmed Gulak, whose death certificate was also admitted in court? And what does all this legal wrestling mean for the people of the Southeast? There is so much to unpack. Remember the death certificate that was admitted in court? It belonged to Ahmed Gulak, a former presidential aide who was killed in Imo State in May 2021. The prosecution's strategy seems to be to link the general atmosphere of incitement and violence, which they allege Kanu created, to specific tragic events like the murder of Gulak. While they may not be saying Kanu directly ordered that specific killing, they are presenting a pattern to show that his words allegedly fueled a chain of violent events in the Southeast. This brings us to a very important and related talk. Beyond the courtroom, what is the real-life impact of this ongoing case? For years, residents of the Southeast have endured frequent sit-at-home orders, often enforced with fear and violence. These orders are usually issued by a faction of the IPOB movement, even though the detained Nnamdi Kanu has, from prison, repeatedly cancelled these sit-at-homes and condemned the violence. This creates a very difficult situation for the average person. On one hand, you have a leader in detention disassociating himself from the violence. On the other hand, you have unknown gunmen on the ground enforcing these orders, leading to loss of lives, burning of properties, and disruption of business and education. It's a cycle of pain and fear. So, when we talk about this trial, it's not just a legal matter between one man and the Nigerian state. It is a story that touches the lives of millions of ordinary Nigerians who just want to go about their daily lives in peace and safety. The outcome of this case on November 20th is being watched with so much anxiety because many people hope it could be a significant step towards finding a lasting solution to the insecurity in the region. What can we expect on November 20th? My people, the judgment day is almost here. So, what are the possible scenarios? Conviction. If the judge rules that the prosecution has successfully proven its case of terrorism and incitement beyond a reasonable doubt, Nnamdi Kanu could be convicted. This would be a historic and, without a doubt, a very controversial verdict. Acquittal. The judge could also rule that the evidence presented by the prosecution is not strong or compelling enough to secure a conviction. If this happens, Kanu would be freed. But remember, the government can still appeal the decision. Further adjournment. Given the last-minute appeal filed by Kanu's team to stop the judgment, there is a small chance the court could decide to pause and wait for the outcome of that appeal. However, as we mentioned, many legal minds believe the trial judge may proceed since the defense has already chosen not to present its case. No matter which way it goes, the judgment will have massive implications. It will either be seen as a victory for the Nigerian state in its fight against what it terms terrorism, or it will be seen as a victory for Kanu's supporters and a vindication of his struggle. This is where I want to bring you in, my dear viewers. This is not just my show, it is our community. Let's have a conversation in the comment section. I want you to tell me what you think, but as you comment, let us remember to be peaceful and respectful. We can disagree without being disrespectful. We are all Nigerians, and our diversity of opinion is our strength. So here are my questions for you. What is your honest take on this entire situation? Do you believe the secret evidence presented by the DSS is strong enough for a conviction? What do you think will be the reaction to the judgment, whichever way it goes? Please drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Let's learn from one another. My people, we have come to the end of today's very important discussion. We have broken down the headline, separated the facts from the sensationalism, looked at the legal drama, the evidence, and the real-life impact on Nigerians. This is a developing story. And we will be here on November 20th to bring you a breakdown of the judgment as it happens. You do not want to miss it. So for the last time in this video, if you have gotten value and you want to stay informed, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with your friends and family so they too can be in the know. Let's build an informed community together. Thank you for your time. Stay safe, stay peaceful, and God bless Nigeria.